Let's face it, the world's got a lot of problems. There's the rise of nationalism, racism, sexism, and let's not forget about this guy.
We will make America great again.
Okay, so the news is becoming kind of overwhelming, and to take a break from it, let's say you watch a movie. But what if watching a movie is the solution to these problems? Since the creation of film, people have viewed it as a way to distract from real life. During the Great Depression, film was one of the few industries that remained relatively unscathed by the economic collapse. That's because people would spend their time and money on ways that allowed them to take a break from their own problems. Comedies and musicals became one of the most popular genres. But films are much more than a way to distract from reality. In fact, they can help us understand and deal with reality through curating empathy. The word empathy is only about a century old. In fact, it comes from the German word
Hineinfühlen.
Yeah, that. And it means feeling into. And most people agree it's pretty important.
It's up to you to widen your circle of concern, to care about justice for everybody. White, black, and brown. Everybody, not just in your own community, but all across this country and around the world.
Robert Ebert, in his famous speech in front of the stars, said that films were empathy machines. And a study done by the University of Worcester in 2016 found that student doctors were able to empathize and deal with patients much better after watching movies with characters that had the same disease. These movies were also able to help patients deal with their own illnesses. So films can help us by allowing us to understand another perspective of the characters within the film. But they can also help us empathize better and understand the emotions of the people that were creating the film. In 1896, Tolstoy wrote an essay titled, "What is Art?", in which he argued that art is a work that communicates emotion and can only be made because of a person's ability to receive and experience the feeling of someone else. An artist is only successful when they're able to convey what exactly they're feeling and make someone else feel the same thing, even though they haven't had the same experience. He argued that humanity was actually becoming more empathetic over time because of art. Because we're able to see all art from past generations and learn empathy from them, we're then able to build upon what they already had into new and greater territories of empathy. But if all forms of art can generate empathy, that leaves us with the question, why film? Well, not everyone has the time and patience to read, and according to a survey done by the Department of Education in 2013, 32 million adults in the US couldn't read, which is about the same number of people who couldn't read in 2003. And that number only increases when you look at it globally. And art can also be problematic. Not everyone has access to museums or great works of art. And increasingly, people are becoming more and more intimidated by museums and comparing them to churches. Films tend to be much more accessible. Most towns have movie theaters, and 119.6 million and growing homes have televisions in the US. The amount of film consumption has only grown with the use of social media. About 100 million hours of videos are watched daily on Facebook alone. Film has become saturated into our culture and society. So, going back to nationalism, racism, and sexism, in times like these, poignant art makes a comeback. There becomes an increase in desire to make and watch films that have significant meaning and draw attention to the stories of disadvantaged people. It's easy to become despondent when looking at current events, but sometimes the best solution is to grab some chips and sit down and watch a movie about someone with a different lifestyle than you.